Look down at your hands. Feel the weight of your arms. Those limbs you are experiencing right now do not actually belong to you, not in the way you think they do. The biological reality is that your brain is a 3-pound mass of tissue locked inside an armored bunker. The cranial vault is pitch black. It is completely silent. Your brain has never directly seen, heard, or touched the outside world. Instead, it receives millions of electrical spikes rushing up the nervous system. To make sense of that static, your brain creates a 3D simulation. It constructs a world and a body for you to pilot. The physical flesh and bone of your arm is the hardware, but the sensation of an arm, the thing you actually experience, is a neurological hologram projected over a meat skeleton. Because your conscious experience is a projected simulation, it is fragile. When this internal projection falls out of sync with your physical hardware, the results can be terrifying. To maintain the simulation without it crashing, the isolated brain needs a way to keep track of the physical flesh it's driving. Stretched across your cortex is a body map. Every physical part has a designated coordinate system in the brain. Your lips, fingers, toes have dedicated real estate. To remain stable, it requires sensory feedback, confirming the limb is there, updating software in real time. But what happens to the internal map when the physical hardware is violently removed? When an arm is amputated, the flesh is gone, but the software refuses to shut down. The brain's survival mechanisms are left running in a void, turning a useful map into a source of chronic pain. This system failure manifests as the phantom limb. Amputees regularly feel and even try to use appendages that were severed decades ago. The British Admiral Lord Nelson lost his right arm in battle. He continued to feel its presence so vividly that he declared the phantom was direct evidence for the existence of a soul that survives the destruction of the body. The biological truth is different. A phantom limb is the result of a starving brain map. The territory in the cortex assigned to the missing arm is suddenly deprived of input, and it hungers for stimulation. This triggers a glitch in the brain's architecture. The map for your face sits right next to the map for your hand. When the hand goes offline, the healthy face zone sprouts new connections, creeping over to hijack the abandoned territory. The signals crosswire. The brain sends motor commands telling the missing hand to clench, but without muscles to send back an action-complete signal, the command escalates. Patients feel agonizing pain, like fingernails digging into invisible palms, generated by confused software. This proves that pain does not require physical tissue damage to exist. It is an opinion generated by the brain about the state of the body, confirming that your immediate reality is a projection that can turn against you. Neurologist V.S. Ramachandran realized that if the pain was a software glitch, he could find a patch for it. He theorized that the phantom was frozen in agony because the brain lacked visual feedback. Without eyes confirming the limb had successfully moved, the motor cortex was stuck in an escalating loop. Ramachandran constructed a simple partition with a mirror inside. He had patients place their good arm on one side and their phantom on the other. Looking into the glass created the optical illusion of two healthy arms. When the patient moved their good arm, their brain saw the phantom move. The visual cortex overrode the missing sensory data. The brain accepted the illusion as reality, and the agonizing loop of the phantom clench finally broke. Ramachandran proved the brain's internal model could be modified. By feeding the system fraudulent visual data, he could amputate the phantom from the patient's mind. But the mirror box was only the beginning. Modern neuroplasticians have discovered that the brain doesn't even require a visual trick to change its structure. This is the core of neuroplasticity. While early pioneers like Ramon y Cajal suspected the brain was malleable, we now have proof that purely imagining a movement leaves a material trace on your brain's anatomy. Amputees whose pain was too severe to even use a mirror were told to simply imagine moving their invisible limbs. Without any physical movement or visual aid, their brains rebuilt neural pathways based on nothing but the thought of the action. Brain scans confirm why this works. Imagining an action and physically performing it engage the exact same motor programs in the cortex. This demonstrates that the brain does not distinguish between a physical action and a vivid mental rehearsal of one. In the cortex, the thought of movement and the movement itself use the same biological architecture. If you're still watching, you have seen the evidence. Your internal body image is a constant work in progress. Your physical self-perception is not a fixed reality. It is a simulation that the brain can edit and patch. If you scroll past this video now, you might never find this channel or this specific insight into your own mind ever again. So hit subscribe and sit with us. You are essentially a ghost driving a meat machine. You are locked in a silent vault, actively constructing your existence through electrical static. Look down at your hands right now. Ask yourself what is actually hiding underneath that hologram.